How's everybody doing today? Welcome back to the engine house. Um, well, my son and my grandson were supposed to be here today to play with some trains and to work on a couple of things of his, and we'll get to that in a few. But thanks to the remnants of Hurricane Lee, we all decided it was probably best if they did not try to drive the 5.5 hours up here today. So, the next time my daughter-in-law is off for the weekend, which will be in a couple of weeks, my son plans on bringing my grandson up, and they're going to spend uh, 2 days with us instead of just the one. There's a corn maze we want to drag him to that's good till sometime in October, and of course we want to play with trains. So anyway, let's take a walk around the layout here. I've been laying some track, as you can see. This line here is going to go through there, and of course it comes, let me back up here, this way, goes through there, and of course the shop cat's right in the way, and it goes over there. That's the freight line. That is the main line. This other line here, and part of it is right there, is the passenger line. It's going to come this way, and I'm not sure where exactly it's going to go. I had things lined out here for the bridge that was going to go here, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it swing through there or what's going to happen. The track's not down permanently yet, so I can make changes. And of course, the last time I shot a video, this place was a mess. There's what I did with the dresser drawers. I kind of built the dresser there, which is great. I can stack stuff on top of it. You can see I got kind of everything stacked up there. Bear hide hat, parts containers, everything is just kind of thrown in there. I'm still reorganizing stuff, but now I have access to everything over here, and I like it a whole lot better. It doesn't cover that area up. So anyway, let's take a little walk around here. Those buildings are going to stay there. That's a little farm scene, the flat, the barn, the house, of course, they're going to stay right there. I'm pretty sure that's where I want them. And of course the rail's going to come around here, and you can see I've done some painting here. There's going to be, I just wanted to get something on it. So I put some more down there. I have a lot more still to do. That's hard work, really. Kind of, I got to climb up here on the layout to get at it, and I do a little at a time. So I'll be finishing up that. I took the mountain thing down here and the wall partition here between the two sections. I never really liked it much, so I decided to get rid of it. The transition, of course, will be the foothills. There won't be a mountain. It'll just be the foothills. That's kind of where I'm going to leave it right now. So anyway, we'll come over here. This is something I'm trying out using some cardboard boxes that we happen to have. I'm going to see about scratch building a factory using what I have on hand. That's kind of just sitting there for now. And come on, kitty. This area here is, of course, where the new gruesome cannery is going to go. Another place for the kitty to lay down. This switch here, siding, it will be here. I have a short piece. I've got a cut that'll go here to here for a boxcar to sit on. Then I can start working on this area later. I have another switch on the way as soon as this thing decides to focus. Okay, this is a placeholder. It's broken. It still works. I can still move it manually, but it's broken, and I have another one coming, so that's going to go there. I have a remote switch there, and I have another one on the workbench we'll get to here in a minute. There's going to be another siding there that may come to here, or it may go to an industry, or I have another remote switch that may come in here and go to that one. I don't know what I'm doing with it yet. It's all still fluid. A lot of this is not secured down yet, so I can still make some changes. Of course, my controller here will work 2 trains. This one is for the freight line, which is this, and this one is for the passenger line, which will be that one. That track is from the wife's dad's set. That's 1947 stuff, and I'll tell you, it's some stout track they built. The track for the 1950s, which is what I've managed to find, is a lot lighter weight. I can show you here in a piece. Hang on one second while this thing decides to focus. Okay, I'll put that there and that there, and we'll get down here, and you can see if the cat gets out of the way, hello kitty, you can see the difference in the height. This being 1950s, this being 1940s, okay? Much different. Finding the 1940s track is next to impossible. I have looked and looked and looked, and the track, when I ordered track, I got 1950s track. So this is mostly what I have down here. I have just enough of the 1940s stuff to do one line going around. The remote switches are from the 1940s set, but they work all right with the newer track. You cannot hook these two together without these being off. You know, this is so much taller. They don't hook up correctly, but for some reason the switches work just fine. I don't know how that works. Put that back down there. And the kitty knocked over my smokestack, which I just set it there. Anyway, I have new wire. The wire for the remotes are, what are they? Green, red, and black. These are green, yellow, and brown. So I'll be changing out the wires and running them from there to here. There is an accessories junction here. And what I might do is have this, as a matter of fact, I've put on kind of a little bit of a lazy Susan so I can keep it out of the way. I have not put the whistle lever on yet because I don't want to risk it getting broken while I'm up and down and, you know, over and around. I'm not doing anything with whistles, so it doesn't need to be on right now. I may put a central area for 2 wires to go to, like to here, and then everything, the controls will wire into here, and I'll get into that in a minute. So it has, instead of a whole bunch of wires, see, let me see if I can get down here. Okay, these 2 here, this one and this one, are for this closest track to me that the shop kitty's currently sitting on. This one and this one are to the passenger side, the inside track that's over here for the passenger. These 2 here, side by side, are for accessories. So instead of having a nightmarish load of wires coming into here, I may just have 2 coming from here to a central area and have others going to it. And I'm thinking about putting the switch controls and the other controls here, and we'll get into that in a minute with the other, what I have. You can also see I built a tunnel entrance here. You really want attention today, don't you? I still have to paint. I have to pull this track out and paint inside there and build a tunnel entrance there as well. And I'm going to have to do something over there, but I'm not going to be so worried about painting around. You're not going to see much of that. So it's not going to be as exposed, I don't think. I'll know for sure when I get over there. I have to build a tunnel entrance, and I may slap some paint in there just to kind of cover it up. We'll see. Okay. Anyway, I will get to what else I've been doing around here. I've got a little Mozart playing. I didn't even know I had Mozart, and I stumbled across a CD the other day. So today we have Mozart on the CD player. Anyway, we'll go over some of this stuff down here in just a moment. I'll be right back. Okay, now, if I can get into the seat here, it's a crowded area. Okay, I've done a little solder. My soldering skills, by the way, are getting better. Let's start with the switch first. Let me poke this around a bit here. And these will all be soldered in permanently once I know everything works and we get to that point, so there won't be any wires pulling out or bad connections being made. It's always, if you can solder a connection, if you're not going to be taking the track apart or anything apart, you can solder, and later you can always unsolder it again if it needs to be. And again, my soldering skills are starting to come back a bit. I'm not perfect by any means, but they are getting a little better. So we'll hook this up first. There we go. This one is going to be a pain. There we are. And again, this wire is going to be going away. It's too short for starters, and I could solder wires to this, but then that just gets, that's not going to happen. It's just easier to run one straight wire to where you need it to be, rather than piecemealing it together. So let's get this plugged in. There we are. Let's give this some power, and we'll bring this a little bit over here into the light, and we will see. Oh, it would help if I hook this up. I'm really not, it's been kind of a weird week with the storm on the way, not knowing for sure how bad it was going to be. We went yesterday and picked up a few extra things in the city just in case. I got our generator. One of the things about having lived off grid for quite a number of years is you understand generators. When town would lose power, we always had power. We had a generator. I have a small generator which wouldn't run the whole house, but it would run the refrigerator, for instance. So should we lose power, the storm is still going on, even though it's much weakened. It's not much more than a tropical storm on the coast, and the further inland it gets, of course, it's not going to be as bad. But anyway, I digress. So it's been kind of crazy. So that's what I mean to say. Anyway, for the other transformer, I have a book, and I think I showed it in an earlier video of how to hook things up. It has its own accessories, as I showed you, so that I don't believe you have to have powered anything to run the accessories. This one, I think this one I have not ever been able to find a manual on how to hook it up, I kind of had to guess where to put the wires to make things work. I don't know what B is. There's A, B, and U. I have no idea what they do, what B does. I know A and U run the train. B may be the accessories. I don't know, but I do know I have to give it power to make it do anything. And there we are. So, a couple things I know. This switch works. This controller still works. Okay, it's pretty simple. I can't open it up, so I'm not gonna, even look in there to see what's going on. But it appears that works. 1940s still works. Okay, so we'll shut that off. We will unplug this. Here, by the way, is, whoops, wrong track. Here's the damaged track. As you can see, it's, that rail is bent. Now, I could straighten it out probably, and it may be all right, but I need a short piece of rail about that long to go where Gruesome Cannery is going to go. So I'm going to sacrifice this piece of rail for that. Cut it off, put it there, buy a bumper. I've seen those online. I'm going to pick one up, Lionel, on eBay, and set it on there for something for the boxcar to go bumping up against. Okay, the other thing is I've been working on this. This is also 1947. This is uncouple and unload. And this again goes with the 1947 coil couplers right here and unload. This does double duty, which is great. Except I cannot use this on the freight side, and none of the passenger cars I have coil couplers. So using it on that is I'm not gonna be able to use it. So it's just gonna be sitting here as a spare. This is the 1957 or 1950s unload. And this is what we'll be testing when we do my grandson. We're gonna be tearing down his refrigerated milk car, cleaning it, and seeing if it works. And in order to do that, this has to be working. Well, I hooked this up and fiddled with it, and it was not working. This inside here was just a nightmare. 1940s technology. It wasn't doing what it was not doing what I wanted it to do. I had to take it apart, and I could push on the contacts under there and make it work, but I couldn't make it work with using the button. So I went and got to an auto parts store and got push to on, release to off, 2 of them, and brought them home, wired them up. And yes, I have a lot of green wire. I could have gone with different colors wires, and it's me. I don't need to know what goes to. As long as it works, that's all I care about. The unload, oh yeah, and the switches were also a lot deeper. And so I cut a piece of 3/8 plywood and cut the center out and mounted that in here with that so it sits flat. So now we can, when my grandson is here, and of course I know in some of my older videos when I was still shooting videos working on the locomotives, I would have one of the clips that clip into here. We clip onto this rail and then clip onto the center. I'll tell you, those were probably frustrating when they were new in the 1940s and 50s. They are beyond frustrating in the 2000s, okay? So I finally said, the heck with it, and I soldered wires to the track. So now when I go to test something, I don't have to have one hand holding the contacts here, and I can have 2 hands to do what I need over here. Anyway, with the uncouple side, I have this that came with the 1950s track. It's got 1 wire here, it's got a wire here. I'm gonna have to solder something, I think, maybe, I don't know. I have no idea. This is not like this one. And it's not like this one. So I'm not 100% sure how this is going to work. I'm going to be playing around with it. It does have a wire here. Again, this goes to here, I'm sure. That goes right to this, and this other one goes to here. So I will probably have to rig some wires to these to check them to see. But on one of my sidelines, I will have this set up for the few cars that I have that have coil couplers. Not all of my freight cars have coil couplers, and none of my passenger cars have coil couplers. So this will get cleaned up. I will figure out what I need to do to make this work and see if it works. And at that point, it will go somewhere. And that's what this other switch is for right here. Again, this came with this, which did double duty, uncouple and unload. That's what these are for, the contacts for the coach that or whatever freight car that needed to sit here, and you push the unload and it would send the power to, and it would kick the whatever it was off. Or you bring a car over with the coil coupler and you'd hit uncouple and it would uncouple the coach. So this will be in a location along with this sitting side by side with wires going to where they need to go. And then I'll be able to, depending on what I want to do, I'll be able to control the trains from right there, at least on part of the line. This will go somewhere. I haven't decided exactly where this is going to go. It may go to a siding. It may go to the other one of these, and there'll be a business or two in between. I don't exactly know how I'm going to set it up yet. I have 4 more switches coming, all manual. Couple of them are probably going to end up going to my grandson. One of them is going to replace the broken one over there, and I'll see what I need to do with the others. So anyway, the other thing I've been doing is I have, not been shooting painting. I was not going to paint this originally. Let me get this up here out where you can, see it a little better. And I decided I was going to start doing a little bit to it here and there, and I ended up painting the whole thing. I still have this to do down here, and I still have flocking to put on over the ceramic flocking that they put on it. I painted a little bit on the inside because this is going to be a window here. I'm going to cut a piece of plastic to put in there as a window. And then this, again, some of these old ceramic Hawthorne Village buildings had a place for a light. There would have been a light that clipped in here. Now I thought about putting this somewhere where you couldn't see the back, but that's going to be kind of hard to do in some spots. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some balsa wood. I'm going to mark this out as a circle. I'm going to use balsa wood as shutters and have half and half. And being the way my mind works, I will have a perch out here and then coming down to the ground, and there'll be a small dragon sitting on the perch. This will be the dragon's entrance. That's kind of what I have in mind right now. Okay, whimsical, fantasy, having fun with the layout. That's the whole point in model railroading. Okay, that's what I tell my grandson. He wants to get into it, which I'm happy that he does, which is why we went ahead and got him a couple of locomotives and a bunch of cars. It's nice to see some of the younger crowd wanting to do this, but it is an expensive hobby. So, if I can teach people you can do some of this and have fun with it, and I enjoy it. This is cheap. I paid $20 for a whole box of these things. A lot of them I'm probably not going to use. Some of them I am. So, for $20, I got a bunch of buildings, 14 total buildings. You can't buy that in kits for $20. You just can't do it. So, you can go drive yourself crazy, if you're on a budget, and you'll just frustrate yourself, and you'll get out of the hobby saying, you know, you can't do this, it's too expensive. Um, yes, it is expensive. Um, One of the things I had intended to do was to buy um, railroad more ties to go underneath here. I was going to make my own, and I finally just decided, you know what? I want to run trains. I want to have fun. I'm tired of, you know, again, on a budget. I can put my money into buying railroad ties or even the wood to make the railroad ties, or I can put my money into stuff like this and some more rolling stock and just run some trains and work on the scenery and, you know, enjoy what I can and have fun with it. Again, I cannot stress that enough. The whole point of the hobby is to have fun. And that's what we're doing. So anyway, that's enough for me for right now. When my grandson is here, I think it'll probably be 2 weeks now before my daughter-in-law is off for a weekend again. So at that point, my son will come up, and they're going to spend 2 days here. We're gonna take my grandson to a corn maze that's in a nearby town and see if we can lose him in there. Probably have to tie a flagpole to him, and so we can find him if we need to, or me. I could probably get lost in there myself. We're going to do that, and then of course I'm going to hopefully have the rest of this track secured down enough so that he can take his diesel electric and some of his freight cars and run them around the track. He is really looking forward to doing that. So I'm looking forward to having him come here, and we'll do it, and I'll shoot a video of it, and you'll get to see my grandson having some fun. And he's gonna learn how to clean some of this stuff up and work on it himself, so he understands what it takes to do this, and he's not going to be scared of it, and he's going to learn how to have fun with it. Anyway, that's all for me for today. I hope you enjoyed, and as always, like and subscribe and comment. I'm always open to comments. And I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend, and hopefully it's not raining and windy there like it is here. Bye for now.